Hello. Hi. How y'all doing? Probably thinking to yourself, what is with this angle and why do I need to see your face? Well, the answer to both those questions is this thing right here. Well, not this bit of paper, the laptop that's underneath it. It's an Entroware laptop, yes. So we're going to get rid of the paper and flip it over because that's my cheat sheet. Entroware laptop. Which one specifically? The Kratos. Yes, the God of War. No. Okay. So the Kratos is as equipped as the review unit was sent to me. It is equipped with a 2.5 gigahertz Intel Core i5-7300HQ. Now it does have a turbo mode that goes up to 3.5 gigahertz, and I can attest to that. It does actually get that far. I got it. The highest I ever caught it at was 3.49 gigahertz, so that's pretty close. That's actually really, really close. It is, unlike most laptop i5s and i7s, if we're being honest, it's an actual quad core. It's got a it's a non-hyper-threaded quad core like the desktop part i5s, so that's pretty cool. The RAM, it comes with 8 gigs of DDR4 to 2400 megahertz. Now, if you go to the website right now, chances are you will only have 2133 RAM available. So that's all good. It does have a dedicated GeForce GTX 1050 mobile with 4 gigabytes of dedicated RAM, and of course the 1050 and most of the 10 series mobile parts are actually using the same GPU as their desktop counterparts. They just have been much more aggressively binned, as it were. So it's all neat. The internal storage, the way that the review unit was sent to me was with a single 256 gigabyte Samsung Polaris SM961 M.2 NVMe SSD. This screen, let's open it up. This screen is a really nice screen, actually. I will turn it on so you can see it. It's a 15.6 inch 1080p IPS screen. It's LED backlit, because of course it is. You weren't really expecting an AMOLED PC at this point now, were you? But yeah, no, it's a really good screen. It's got this sort of half matte finish to it. It looks really good, and it's bright enough at 100% brightness. It's bright enough that you can be outside with it, no issues whatsoever. Battery included. It's a 62 watt hour battery with 5300 milliamps. So it can push some serious juice, and I guess it would need it, especially if you're doing gaming stuff, because this is, for all intents and purposes, a gaming laptop. Comes with Ubuntu, the Unity version, 1704. The Unity version. Really? I mean, Entroware? This is just a personal thing, but you really should have sent me one with Ubuntu, mate. Just saying. Just saying. That said, once I was done running all of the benchmarks and all the tests and everything, I did every single one of those in Unity just so I could be sure that I tested the default configuration and how it would be sent to you if you wanted to buy a laptop. The keyboard. The keyboard is it's a laptop keyboard. It's a chiclet keyboard. I hate chiclet keyboards with a passion. Even though this chiclet keyboard isn't the worst I've seen, it's still a chiclet keyboard, and that's probably the weakest point in this entire laptop. This keyboard right here. Touchpad. It's actually really good. It would be completely unremarkable as a touchpad if it wasn't really good, really precise. Even those teeny tiny movements of your fingers, very sensitive. It picks up on them, no issue, so I was actually very impressed with that. This yellow thing in the middle here, I'm assuming this is a fingerprint reader, but I wasn't able to get it to work. So, keyboard, yes, the keyboard is also backlit, which I enjoyed. That's the one thing that brings it above the rest of the chiclet keyboards, especially, the one in my laptop, which is also chiclet, but it's not backlit. This one is, and it's got different levels of backlighting, and it's passable, at least, but it's still a horrible keyboard. If we turn it over, you will see that back here, there isn't much. There's not much to look at. You have the battery compartment, well, it's the battery itself, and no other access port. No other access thing that you can open, that you just take off one screw, maybe two, pull it open, and say, get access to the RAM, get access to the SATA port, get access to the NVMe port, get access to the mini PCIe for a wireless card, anything. You don't get that. So we want to talk benchmarks. We want to talk about all of that. Well, if you would like to know specific results, comparisons, charts, graphics, whatever, you can check out the associated written review, which is on linuxgamecast.com. There'll be a link for it in the video description down below. It's the usual. Suffice it to say, right now, it's been doing really well. The Talos principle, it managed to, with everything in the performance tab set to medium. In OpenGL, it did alright. It did around 90 FPS on average. But the Vulkan results, those are just more proof that Vulkan is awesome. Now, I didn't just use the Talos principle, I also used Dirt Rally. Again, this laptop did very well, and it is a Feral port, and since this does have an Intel processor, of course it's going to do well. That's where most Feral ports shine, is the when they're put up in a system running an Intel CPU. I did run some synthetic benchmarks. I ran Geekbench for the processor, and both Unigine Heaven and Unigine Superposition for the graphics. Unigine Heaven, it went at it, it curbed it. It was, even on the extreme preset, it was above 30 the whole time, and you will be able to see everything in the written review. But on Superposition, well, on Superposition there was actually an interesting issue, because this panel here cannot do 720p to 1280 by 720. It can't do it. So when I tried to run it in 720p low, it wouldn't work. So I had to plug this laptop into one of these monitors and run it there, because Superposition would just nope if I tried to run it at 720p in this panel. Now, I did compare it, as I mentioned earlier, I did compare this laptop to my current Lenovo B5080 laptop. They're not in the same league by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a comparison, and it should give you an idea of where the performance of this box lies in comparison to at least the low-end 15.6 laptop form factor market. So the Unigine Superposition at 1080p high, well, it shows that even though it is a 1050 for all intents and purposes, it's still, well, Superposition is very demanding. So do not be disappointed by that result. As far as a laptop goes, with a 1050, that's actually a very good result, and it's actually not a terrible machine. Now, the price, if you wanted to get as close to this as you can right now, as configured, you would be paying £979.99, which is more than agreeable, if we're being honest. It's actually something, if I had to buy it, I probably wouldn't buy the Kratos specifically. It's a bit heavy. It still has a big battery. It's a 60 watt hour, 6-cell battery, so it makes it a bit heavier. And it's a bit bulky, as you can see. There's some laptopness to it. It's got connectivity-wise, which I forgot to mention earlier. It's got two USB 3.0 ports, one USB 2.0. It's got separate microphone and headphones, as you can see there. Here you have that second USB 3.0. That's actually a USB 3.1 Type-C that you see next to the 3.0 there. Then it has HDMI. It's got 2 display ports, one of which you can actually use to, well, mini display ports. One of which you can use to daisy chain a monitor or a series of monitors through. It's got an Ethernet port and, of course, the power inlet. So, as I was saying, it's actually not too bad a configuration for the price, especially since it's one of those Linux computers that you buy. Those always have a teeny tiny bit of a markup, and it is somewhat to be expected. But the price performance for a laptop, it's really not that bad, especially since you're getting both the 1050 and an NVMe SSD, a 256 gigabyte Samsung NVMe SSD. And, well, it's not an amazing laptop, but it's a really good one. If it was to be amazing, it would have to be a bit thinner. It couldn't have a chiclet keyboard, and seriously, don't ship computers with Ubuntu with Unity. Why do you hate people so much? I know why I hate people so much, but yes, you. I love you, yes. Because you are the ones that make this all possible. Yes, you lot keep contributing to our Patreon campaign. Thank you all very much. And if you say you enjoyed this, what I just did, I don't know why, but maybe you did. So, if you'd like to say, please continue, go on over to patreon.com. Kick us a few shekels, throw some money at our heads, it's bound to do some damage at some point, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.